welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. It's your girl Sharita, also known as Gracefully Natural. And in today's video, I wanted to share with you my garden. So what I am doing is I am beginning to prepare for my spring garden. So I am going to start planting my seeds inside so that they can start germinating and start to get strong and grow their leaves, so that when the weather warms up, I can transplant them outside and get ready for a nice spring harvest. So if you're interested in seeing what I do to prepare for my spring garden, then continue to keep on watching. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, because I am sure there's some other people out there like me. I'm actually considered a first-time gardener. I just started gardening last year in 2020 during the pandemic, and I had a lot of successes and I had a whole lot of failures. So share this video, because there's some people that may can learn some things from me, and I'm also open to learning some things, because I definitely don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn everything. Okay, so if you're interested, then continue to keep on watching. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by showing you what I plan on planting. So, and then I'm going to just kind of give you a little backstory about some of them, because some of them I tried last year, and like I said, I had some successes, and some of them I tried last year, and baby, I got nothing. Okay, so the first thing, or one of the seeds that I plan on starting, is my cabbage. So with the cabbage, I did plant this last year. However, it did not quite turn a head. What I mean by that, if you can see on here, this is considered the head. And when it is not producing, but while it's growing, it should start to what they call head up. It should start to form that little circle, that little ball. Well, mine was doing that, but I think what I did wrong is the pot that I planted it in was too shallow. So what I did was I used one of those little clear, little flat, it's not even a pot, what do you call that thing? I would have to show you, but I don't think that it was deep enough to plant this, because I think that the roots for cabbage need to be a little deep, and it wasn't deep enough. So I had to get rid of my cabbage last year, because I just waited for it to head over, and then it started to like rot. So I was very disappointed, but hey, I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna try again this year. I'm gonna retry some Brussels sprouts. Now, I had a failure with Brussels sprouts. So what happened last year, my seeds germinated, but I planted these like in I want to say July, August, and it was just entirely too hot, so they never would grow. I think it was just too hot for these. So I'm going to try these again. My husband loves Brussels sprouts. I am definitely going to try broccoli again. Now, I did have a success with broccoli. I was able to grow my first broccoli head. After watching several videos, I saw where they said after you cut your first broccoli head, then others will start to produce out of the shoots. Well, that didn't happen for me. However, I did enjoy that one broccoli head, and I did let it stay a little long because I wanted to see how big the broccoli head would get. But I got scared once it got like the size of, I want to say like a golf ball, because I didn't want it to go bad. And I was so happy that I was able to grow it, that I went ahead and I cut it and waited for others to sprout or produce, but it didn't happen, but that's okay. I'm trying broccoli again. Okay, guys, the next category I have are greens. Now, let me tell you something. If you have never tried homegrown greens straight out of a garden, you are definitely missing out. I grew greens last year. Like, now, I'm telling you, I was a first-time gardener. I am a first-time gardener, not was, I am. This is just my second season. I was very successful with spring plants, but baby, them fruits and stuff, no, it didn't work for me. I don't know what I did wrong, but I'm going to try it again this year, but I'm going to narrow it down, because I was so excited. Last year, I was trying to plant everything. So I'm just going to go with a couple of fruits this year and see what happens. But that's a story for another day, the horror story of my fruit. But, greens, I got so many greens, such a big harvest of greens last year. I was pleased. We were eating greens left and right, and they taste so good. So I'm definitely going to plant greens again. These are called the giant red They call them the purple mustard greens. They are so, so, so delicious. And y'all, it does not even require a big container to grow it in. Like, I grew this in a little plastic little what do you call that thing? Little container. I'm just gonna say a plastic container. And greens are what they call, or come from what they call, you can cut and it comes back again. So you harvest greens, and then in about 2 weeks you'll have some more greens coming. Harvest those greens, and then about 2 weeks you'll have some more greens coming. So you can actually harvest greens if you start your seedlings right now all spring, all the way through the summer, until the temperatures get over 85 degrees. It's too hot at that point unless you got a shaded area, or you really have the time to take care of your greens, and you could probably produce greens throughout the summer. But if not, they're just going to bolt and go to seed. And that's a whole nother story about going to seed. Now, remind you, I told you I'm a first-time gardener, so I'm going to be producing or making a lot of videos about gardening, but I don't want to give you too much at one time. So this video is just going to only be dedicated to me starting some seeds for right now. Now, I'm going to start way more than this, but this is what I want to start right now. So that's all I'm going to focus on, so I don't want to give you too much all at one time, okay? The next greens I'm going to grow are collard greens. And these are the Georgia Southern Creole greens. I had a lot of success with collard greens, but I had more successes with mustards. Now, let me tell you, videos that I have been watching, these greens grow so big and so tall. But what I did, or what I didn't do, I grew mine too close. So I got a nice harvest from the collard greens, but I didn't get the big tall leaves like I see on some videos. So I'm going to try something different this year. I'm going to make sure that I thin these out. Thin them out. See, that's something else I got to talk to you about. And so that I can get a better harvest and bigger leaves from these, okay? So these are collard greens, the Georgia Southern. And then these are just regular mustard greens. I enjoyed these last year. These are the Southern Giant Curled. I got a lot. Mustards grow so fast, so quickly. Like, you can have Sunday greens every Sunday. Just grow them, cut them, they're gonna come back. Grow them, cut them, they're gonna come back. Make sure, if you are starting a garden, make sure you have greens. If you like greens in your garden, even if you don't like greens, just grow them anyway. They're so easy to grow. Give them to your neighbors, give them to your family, give them to grandma to cook, give them to your mom to cook. They're healthy and they're good for you, okay? The next thing that I'm going to plant are these peas. They're the Super Sugar Snap. Y'all, I had success with this. The only regret that I have is that I did not plant enough, and I planted them late. I used to go outside and harvest these and eat these straight off the vine. They are so sweet. Like, my husband, I let him taste this raw straight off the vine, and he just couldn't keep his hands. We were going outside when we were harvesting, just picking these, cleaning them off, and eating them straight off the vine. They are so good, and they are definitely sweet. So make sure that you plant some sugar snap peas, and I'm gonna make sure I plant enough this time, because last year I planted them a little too late. I was only able to get about 2 harvests off of them, and then they bolted because it got too hot. But again, I was a first-time gardener, didn't really know when to start, what to do. But this year, I know a little bit more than I knew last year, so that's why I'm starting now, mid-January. Okay, I'm going to plant some kale. It was very enjoyable to be able to walk outside my back door and just pick my salad. Just pick the greens for my salad. Kale is one of those greens for salads that I really love, so I'm growing some kale. I did have success with kale. This is the Premier Kale, and this one is the Dwarf Blue Curled, what is that? Dwarf Blue Curled Vase. So I got 2 different types of kale that I'm going to grow, just because I like salads. So I feel like you can never have enough greens for salads, and it's the same thing, cut and come again. So you cut them, a week or 2 later, you got some more. Cut them. You can have salads for days, especially if you plant enough of them. listen to this term. It's called planting in succession. That's something else we'll have to discuss. You'll have to keep on following me so you will know what I'm talking about. So right now, make sure you click that like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you comment and let me know if you plan to start a garden or if you're planting any of these things that I'm planting. But follow my journey, please, 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 because I want you to be able to grow your own as well. So back to it. I'm going to be this year trying some Ford Hook Chard. I never tried Chard, but I'm going to try it because, again, I love salads. I've never tried Kohlrabi, but I'm going to try this. I don't even really know what this is. I just see some YouTubers planting this. It looked good, so I'm going to try it. Another green lettuce is called Waldman's dark green lettuce. Never have too much lettuce for salads. And then I found this little salad greens mix. It has arugula, it has lettuce, which is some red lettuce, and it has some spinach in this pack. So I'm going to plant these. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing for this particular video. And this is what I'm going to be using to plant this in. This is called a seed starting greenhouse kit. It's by Jiffy, and this is the 72 peat pellets. So what I picked this up from Lowe's. They also have this in Home Depot. I think I've seen these in Walmart as well. It's very inexpensive. It was right at about $10. So this is what I'm going to get started with. That's why I'm only right now planting 12 seeds, because since this is a 72 pellet, it comes with 6 per row. So for each row, I'm going to use a different seed. And listen, this is enough right here to start a nice garden for my spring garden. Like if I put, like for my broccoli, I could put broccoli seeds in each one of these and it will be enough, because what you want to do when you're planting your seeds, you want to drop at least 2 or 3 seeds at the most. Well, let's just say 2 seeds in there, unless they're really tiny seeds, just to give your seeds a chance to germinate, because sometimes you could drop your seeds, and what I learned, and they won't germinate. It may have just been a bad seed, or it just something happened. So you want to drop at least 2 of them in there, so if one doesn't germinate, the other one will. And then as they start to grow and you transplant it from this, because you're not going to be able to keep it in this for too long, it's too tiny, you're going to have to move it, then you can separate those 2 and make you the 2 that was in this one pellet and make 2 plants. So in essence, this can become 12 broccoli plants, y'all. And just imagine the amount of broccoli that I will be eating from 12, because one plant is not just going to produce 1 broccoli head. It may produce 2 or 3. Now, what I found out, or what I heard now, not what I found out, because I didn't have that type of success, but from watching other YouTubers, what I found out is after you cut that first initial head, then there's supposed to be several other broccoli heads that's supposed to produce from those shoots. So there could possibly be 4 or 5 more that can produce from that one shoot. So hopefully this year we're going to have some luck. We're claiming it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you what I do next. Okay, so what you want to do, you need to make sure that you have your seeds, whatever you're going to plant. You can lay them out if you're organized or whatever. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this off. Now, if you need to, it just slides right off, but you can keep this in case you need the directions, because it tells you exactly what to do. It's a 4-step process, and it just tells you step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. I'm familiar with this because I did this last year, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So they give you a top. This is what they call the greenhouse, because this is going to keep all the moisture in and allow the seeds to germinate. And then once your seeds germinate, then you take this off. So they gave you some little labels, and they have some Super Thrive plant vitamin for seedlings. I don't think I'm going to use that because I have some other stuff. And all of these pellets are in a little pod. and they come with peat moss. So peat moss is a seed starting mix that has a mixture of compost, garden soil. Basically what it is, it's a good soil that you need to be able to drain. I think I'm saying it right. If I'm not saying it right, somebody that's a pro, correct me. You're gonna need some water. So I just have a little mug here. And you're gonna need some kind of labels. So I have some popsicle sticks that I got from, I think, the Dollar Tree. Some of these are already pre-labeled because I knew what I wanted to plant, and some of these are just blank. And you're gonna need something where you can separate these pods. So let me try to bring you a little closer so you can see what I am doing and what's going to happen. Okay, here we go. So what you have to do is you have to pour water over these. What's going to happen when you wet these up and pour water on them, they're going to swell up, which is going to activate the peat moss inside these pellets. Once it soaks up all of this water and they swell up to about an inch or inch and a half, you'll be ready to plant your seeds. And it will loosen up the little wrapping that's covering the peat moss, and then you'll just use one of your sticks, separate them, create your little hole, stick your seed in there, make sure you label what you're planting, and then once you're done, you'll put the dome over this, and you will keep this in a warm, dark place. Okay, it doesn't need any light because it's trying to germinate. So let's go ahead and get started and pour this water. I'm gonna go ahead and start pouring my water. You want to make sure that your water is actually covering your, help you. Yeah, I'm trying to look at this from a different angle, so, but you can see them swelling up. Okay, that's what it's looking like. I hope y'all can see that. Let's go back this way. Okay. Hopefully you can see them swelling up. And I'm going to let as much of that water soak as I can. You can see it soaking up the water, and any excess that I have, I'm going to let it drain. Okay, so now that they have all swollen up and gotten an inch and a half taller, I don't know if you can see that they've all swollen up. They actually soaked up all that water. Let me move you back some. I'm going to go ahead and start planting my seeds. I have some popsicle sticks that are already labeled: Cabbage, Kohlrabi, Collards, Kale, and lettuce. So I'm going to go ahead and just find those since they're already labeled. Okay, so what you want to do is, let me grab me some gloves to start. So I'm going to take the popsicle stick. I'm going to start on this end right here, and I am just going to, let me move you closer. I am just going to just open this up. See how I'm just opening that up? It opens up very easily. Just gonna break the little wrapper that's around it. You shouldn't have to water these anymore right now because they're already moist from the water that you just used. Okay, now what you want to do in the center of each one is you want to create yourself a little hole where you will put your seeds. And the key to this is you need to make sure you label your stuff, because you don't want to make the mistake that I make and a lot of first-time gardeners make by not labeling things, and then you have to just wait until stuff start producing to know what you planted, and that's no fun. So the first thing is the cabbage. And what I'm going to do is just lay it down since I'm going to have that dome on top. And I am going to only plant 2 seeds. They are very, very tiny, y'all. You got to be very careful. Look at that. If you can see. I don't want to drop it. But I'm going to plant 2 seeds per pod. Or per pellet. Because I don't want to overdo it. And then if you accidentally drop more than 2, it's fine. Just try not to lose your seeds. Because it happens. I just heard a seed fall. They're so tiny, you're not going to help but to lose some. And you want to put it directly in that hole that you created. Once you put your seeds in, then you want to take that peat moss and cover that hole up. Make sure that your seed is completely covered so that it will have a greater chance of germinating. Some of these, I accidentally dropped too many in there, and that's fine. What'll grow will grow, what'll germinate will germinate. Okay? And that's pretty much all there is to it. You just do each row like this. It's going to take me some time because I have 72 of these. Plant your seeds, and then you cover them up, and then I'll come back and show you what we do next. Okay, guys, so I have got all 72 of these peat pellets planted, seeds planted in each one. And if you can see right along in here, these little lines right here, this is where I have my popsicle sticks with the labels of everything that's in that row. So each row is a different seed. That way I will know once they germinate and start to grow what I am actually growing. And then when I pull them out of these cells and put them in some bigger little pots, then I will put the popsicle stick with that particular pot so I'll know what is growing. Okay, so I will link everything in the description box of what is growing. So what I'm going to do now is I have completed the most important part. So now I am going to put this top over on top of it and make sure that it is completely sealed. You don't want any air to get into it. Plastic over it. You'll be able to tell that it's holding in the moisture because it will start to fog up and build moisture on here. You'll be able to see through it. You'll be able to see once your stuff starts germinating. Once you actually start seeing it germinating and producing leaves, then what you want to do is take the top off. If every last one of them have not started to produce a leaf, and some of them have, then what you want to do is you want to remove the ones that have started to produce the leaf, and you want to immediately start putting it under some grow lights. So you need to make sure that you have some grow lights, or if you have a well-lit windowsill in your house, you want to immediately put the ones that germinated and started to, you can see it growing and producing its leaves. Go ahead and put that directly in light. Other than that, what you want to do is just put this in a warm, dark place and leave it alone. Check on it daily and let it germinate. So I'm going to show you what I do. So this is what I do with my seeds while they're germinating. So I'm upstairs in my little extra room. It's warm up here. As you can see, I have like a little fireplace here. I can turn it on if I need to get it a little warm up here, if it's cool up here. But this is where I've set that 72 pod seeds that I just started. They're sitting right here on the floor. They're going to be in a dark place. As you can see here, this is what I was telling you earlier. I had already started some seeds. I have it covered up with a towel, and I have my labels right here so that I can see what I'm growing. Let me move these because I'm going to use this towel, excuse my little goodies, to place over this. Because what I don't want to happen is I don't want, when the daytime comes and the sun comes out, for the sun to start reflecting on, or for these to get light, because they have to germinate in darkness, if that makes sense. But if you can see here, I have some stuff germinating. What do I have growing here? I have some snow peas, some watermelon radish, some butter crunch lettuce, and some mesclun mixture. And they are starting to germinate. You can't see through there. I'll show you that during my update. But that's a little small one that holds about, I think, 9 seeds. And what I was telling you earlier, like that little pod there, some of them started to germinate, but some of them didn't. The ones that are still over there didn't. These did. So as you can see right here, I have these under some grow lights. And I have those labels right there. So that is some Swiss Chard Ruby. And this is some golden carrots that I have right here under the lights. They've been under the lights right now for about 6 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this light off because they no longer need any light. Also, I have a heating mat, but I don't need that because it's warm in my house. And I actually have a temperature, what is this? The little thermometer that lets me know how hot my heating pad is, but I don't really need that right now. And when I said earlier that I'm going to turn it light off because it no longer needs light, it no longer needs light tonight. So what you want to do, once you bring your seedlings under the grow lights, you want to have them under the lights all day and then turn the lights off at night so that they can kind of rest, and then you start the process all over again until they get their true leaves. And when I say true leaves, that's another video. So I hope you learned something from this video. Thank you for sticking it out with me so I can show you how to start my seedlings. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to this video and actually share it. And I will see you in the next video when I provide you with an update. Bye.